So again, welcome. This is going to be a pretty relatively short presentation, about 30 minutes. There will be time for questions and answers at the end of any questions. After this presentation, we will be starting to accept appointments for your Aggie advising starting tomorrow. So if you haven't done so already, I'd encourage you to make your appointment after this presentation. Today, I've had the great honor of having Shadea and Cindy from our engineering undergrad office help me out because I am a little short-staffed. So if you have any questions during the presentations, feel free to put them in the chat and they'll be the ones answering it, or if anything else during this presentation, they're ones you can reach out to in addition to myself. But we'll go ahead and get started. Today we're going to do an overview of your advisors, the majors, the degree requirements, academic advising, research, success in engineering, and again, we'll have time at the end for an open Q&A. So this is a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Petaluma, California, not far from here. I attended Casa Grande High School, went to Santa Rosa Junior College, and then finally at Sac State, where I have 2 degrees, one in criminal justice, but most recently one in higher education, leadership and policy study. I graduated about 2018 from a master's. I joined UC Davis in January 2020, so I am relatively new to the campus, but I've enjoyed it so far. I currently live in Midtown Sacramento with my partner and my one-eyed cat named Odin, who may or may not join us at some time during the presentation. He likes to jump in randomly. I enjoy axe throwing, archery, sailing, hanging with friends, reading, video games, and movies. Your other advisor is Maria. She was born in Mexico and grew up in Tule, California, a small town about 10 minutes from Oregon. She moved to Davis in 2013 and graduated her undergrad in spring 2017. She's been in the department with us as our academic advisor since July 2019. She just graduated with a master's, the same program I did, a master's in higher education leadership and policy study from Sac State. She enjoys spending time with her family, her husband, her 4 siblings, and the reason why she's not here today is she gave birth to her first baby boy last Thursday. So understandably, she needs some time off, but she will be back in midsummer, and for sure we'll be back in the fall for helping you all out for your advising needs. So Maria and I, plus a new soon to be hired undergrad program coordinator, will make up your advising team during your time here at UC Davis. So Maria and I are, like I alluded to at the beginning of the presentation, our advising team for 2 different departments across 3 different majors. All of you here today are either biochemicals or chemical engineering, but I wanted to let you know that we also advise for the material science and engineering program because there is a lot of overlap. You'll share some classes together. So, and some of the faculty go between the departments. So there is some overlap between all of you. To kind of explain what each of the majors are, here are kind of short paragraphs that I'll go over. Biochemical engineering makes products that uses biological resources such as living cells, enzymes, and biochemicals in a way that is safe, economical, and environmentally responsible. Some areas of application include biopharmaceuticals, biofuel, food and beverages, biomaterials, and industrial enzymes and biochemicals. Chemical engineering is the transformation of one form of matter into another form of matter in a way that is safe, economical, and environmentally responsible. Popular areas of application include energy, design and control chemical processes, environmental, engineering, consumer products, design and processing of food, and then material science, just to kind of show you how similar they are, is the study of structure, properties, and performance of materials in order to create new materials and adapt existing materials for new uses. And some areas of application for those are material processing, magnetic thin films, fuel cells, nanotechnology, and materials for extreme environment. So we'll kind of to talk about what happens if you're not sure which of our 3 majors or any college of engineering major you may want to be a part of, as it's very popular. You may not be confident in your choice in the first year. So I want to give you the option. So the intro chemical engineering course is chemical engineering 80, which is chemical engineering professionalisms. That's offered only in the fall. The intro material science course is EMS 2, which is materials marvels, the science superheroes, which is only offered in the winter. Chemical engineering 1 is the design of coffee. This is offered every quarter. It's not a major requirement, but it is a really fun class. You get to learn how to make kind of the perfect cup of coffee. And then engineering 1 is nuts and bolts. It's only offered in the fall, and this covers all our different engineering majors. Also, if you have any questions about any of the other engineering majors or where to go, please feel free to put that in the chat. Shade and Cindy are part of the engineering undergrad office, and they kind of help advise on all our engineering majors. Most typical introduction courses are only offered fall and winter, so I encourage you to enroll in those early, as they usually aren't offered in the spring. Freshman seminars, which are kind of just 1 to 2 unit courses that cover a wide variety of topics, including other majors, are offered usually every quarter though, so I encourage you to take a look at those. The list for those courses won't be released until later though, which I will send out in an email. I also encourage you to seek out the internship and career services if you're kind of unsure, to kind of explore degree options post-graduation, see what kind of jobs are currently available and popular in the market. Where do you have to go for those jobs? The Internship and Career Services Center is a really good resource for that. And student clubs. Student clubs are an amazing resource to find out kind of if you're the right fit for your major. Our 3 main major clubs for our majors for chemical engineering is the American Institution of Chemical Engineering, AICHE. For material science, the popular one is Material Advantage Student Chapter, MASC. And then for biochemicals, a lot of them get into pharmaceuticals. So the International Society of Pharmaceutical Engineering, ISPE, is very popular with our students as well. So I know I'm starting to cover a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to go through as fast as possible, be respectful of your time, but is there any questions or comments? Feel free to put them in the chat, raise your hand, whatever you like to communicate. I'll leave a few moments after each slide to feel free to ask. So kind of just to give you a snapshot of how big or how small our major is, this is our current enrollments for the fall 2021. It's still a little in flex, but in general, your incoming class for chemical engineering is about 68. And as you can tell, that makes up a pretty large portion of our chemical engineering. We're a relatively small major, which means you will get to know everyone in your incoming class, and the faculty will get to know you. We have pretty relatively small class sizes. None of them get too big beyond 60 for obvious reasons. So you do get a lot of one-on-one time with your faculty, and you get to actually know your faculty. You're not just kind of a face in a large group. Both majors, it's nearly impossible to do it alone. So I do strongly encourage you to reach out to each other, form a Discord, start talking to each other as soon as you can, because it's strongly encouraged that you form study groups to get through our major. Because we are a small group, it's very easy to do so. Biochemicals are even a little bit smaller. Your incoming class is 28 students, making up about 1/3 of our entire major, with 93 students in total for the fall. Again, this number is in flux. There is most likely to keep going up by another 50 or so for chemicals and about 10 or 20 for biochemicals. So this is kind of the number one thing I want you to take away from. If you don't remember anything other than my amazing jokes, it is the chemistry, math, and advanced placement scores and how they relate to your fall courses. So starting with chemistry, the difference between chemistry 2A and 2AH, as you may have seen. 2HAH is designed for chemistry majors. It's their honors version of chemistry. I strongly recommend you do not sign up for the honors version, even if you qualify. It covers things in a different pattern, in a different way than the normal chemistry 2A. And it's not really beneficial for our majors to go into what they cover in 2HAH. 2A will easily satisfy all your requirements for our major. It's better paced, And if you decide to switch out of the honor sections and return to the normal sessions, sometimes there's gaps because they cover things in different orders. So unless you're a part of the university honors program, I encourage you to stick with just the 2A. Chemistry will drop you if you register for the wrong chemistry. So I encourage you, if you haven't taken the exam, to please do so as soon as possible. And I've reached out to those of you who need to still take it. Also, during your Aggie advising appointments, we'll be checking in on you on your scores to see if you're in the right chemistry or scheduled for the right chemistry. Math is a little bit more complicated. Usually you'll see 4 or 5 options for your math. You really only can enroll in 1 of 2 options, Math 12 or the Math 21 series. Do not enroll in Math 20, Math 16 or 17. They are not part of your majors. They will not help you towards your degree. Math 12 is kind of like pre-calc, with 21 being the calculus series. So please do enroll in the correct math. If you have any questions about chemistry or math at any time, please do reach out to Maria or myself or any of the other advisors, as we will be helping you out with your fall registration. I encourage you to speak with us individually if you have any questions about your AP or IB scores. AP cannot be used to satisfy general education requirements here at UC Davis, but it can be used in sub of some placement exams, though I strongly encourage you to still take all the placement exams, even if you have high AP scores. It's just sometimes the AP scores don't come in until after fall registration, or sometimes you don't get the score you were expecting. So I strongly encourage you to still take the placement exams, even if you've done the AP math or AP chemistry or something like that. Any questions about placement exams or AP scores? Cool. So next we're going to go over the undergrad bachelor degree requirements. So it's kind of broken up into 4 different requirements: university, general education, college, and major. So first up is the university requirements. So for your first year incoming students, the main one you need to worry about is the entry level writing requirement. There's various different ways that you could have satisfied this. Could have been satisfied by the UC Davis Writing Placement Survey. Could have been satisfied by the SAT or ACT score. Could have been satisfied by AP or IB score. Completing college credit at your high school or at a community college or university over the summer or before then, or passing the AWPE, which is just a one-shot course that some high schools offer. If you didn't satisfy the entry-level writing requirement before attending UC Davis here in the fall, there are options for completing it here at UC Davis, though you need to complete it before the end of your first year. Those options include the UWP 7, 7Y or 7, which is hybrid, or 7M, which is for multilingual students. Another option is to take a 1-unit course, including UWP 1A, English 3A, or NAS 5A, in addition to UWP, their full unit equivalent, which we encourage you not to do. I encourage you to pursue the UWP 7 instead of these 1-2 unit courses. There is an option to take WLD 57, which is a Sac City, which is the local community college course. It hasn't been offered the last few quarters, but it is scheduled for the fall. Though, again, if you're going to take either the A options or 57, please talk to us beforehand, as we may want to just make sure you're not taking on too many courses. And then WR39A is a 4-unit UC-wide online course. Again, this is not a super popular option. I encourage you to talk to an advisor before you sign up for one of these, as it operates on a different system than your other courses. So I just want to make sure you're managing your time well. And you can find more by clicking the link on the website. I also sent it. We can send it to you if you like. If you have any questions, please again talk to us during your Aggie advising appointment. Any questions about the entry-level writing requirement? So other university requirements, is American History and Institution. Most of you most likely completed this at your high school. If you did not, we'll let you know during your Aggie advising appointment, and just something you'll need to complete via general education course sometime over the next 4 years. Unit requirement, you'll see this in a few slides, but it's not going to be an issue for any engineering student. Most of our students graduate with at least 200 units. It's just the nature of our majors, so it's not something you have to concern yourself with. Residency requirement, the last 35 units out of the last 45 units you take here at UC Davis need to be here at UC Davis. And what I mean by that means you can't transfer those units in. So you can't say, take your whole last year at Santa Cruz and then transfer all those units in. That does not mean you have to physically live on campus. It just means your classes have to be here on UC Davis campus. We do have a scholarship requirement, meaning your overall GPA should be above a 2.0, which again, we'll be helping you throughout. We'll be meeting with you every step of the way through your entire education career. So we'll be checking on you and making sure you shouldn't fall too close. This shouldn't be a surprise when it comes to it. So GE, at the end of this presentation, I will send you a link, which includes a link to this GE packet worksheet. But as you can see, a lot of your GE requirements are satisfied for your major automatically. I can bring up an example. So this is So this is the GE requirements for biochemicals. The only thing you have to worry about is the highlighted sections, which for your GE is broken into 2 areas, topical breath and core literacies. For topical breath, you'll see that it's broken into 3 areas. Area A, which is arts and humanities, B, science and engineering, and C, social science. For both majors, the science and engineering is going to be satisfied by taking your major courses, so you don't have to worry about that. And for biochemicals, you can see your social science is also pretty well covered due to your major courses. The only difference for chemical engineers is you don't have to take 161C. Each area needs to have at least 12 units. So that usually equals to about 3 to 4 classes. Between all 3 areas, you need to satisfy 52 units. So you'll receive automatically 20 units max for science and engineering. Biochemicals get 13 units from social science, so there isn't that much left. So that's why we want to help you plan out your GEs early. Most of them will be in arts and humanities, as they will you want to try to take the least amount of courses to satisfy these requirements. Core literacies is also pretty straightforward. It's broken up into 4 different areas: literacy with words and images, civic and cultural literacy, quantitative literacy, and scientific literacy. As you can see, areas 1, 3, and 4 are going to be all satisfied by your major, so you do not have to worry about those. The only ones you have to worry about is area 2, civic and cultural literacies. Each one has to be satisfied by a 3-unit course or combination of courses, with A being domestic diversity, B being American cultures, governance, and history, and C being world culture. We'll help you pick out these classes because they can overlap. So you can have an arts and humanities course that's also a domestic diversity course. And you can overlap between breaths and core literacies, but you can't overlap between core literacies. So you can, even though some courses are domestic diversity and American culture, governance, and history, they will only count for 1 in this area. Again, you don't have to remember all this. Your major advisors will help you pick your GEs, will answer any questions you have. So it's not expected that you memorize this all now and we don't talk about it again for 4 years. So we will help you out through the whole thing. Any questions about GE? Some of you, again, AP does not count for GEs. So it's important that you double check, but you can't, some GEs, AP classes, you can't repeat if you took the AP exam. So I encourage you to talk to your advisors if you're trying to take anything related to an AP exam that you took prior. A common misconception is to focus on your GEs early. In our majors, and I'll go over this later, we actually only have you take 1 or 2 GEs within the first few years. Most of your GEs is actually going to be safe for your senior year, because there's a lot of core fundamental classes we want to get you in early. So college requirements. So all College of Engineering students have to take 2 English writing courses, 1 lower division, 1 upper division. Some of them, your lower division may be satisfied by AP scores, but all of you will have to take an upper division English course. For the lower division one, like I said, an AP and IP score, or completion of UWP 1, English 3, Com 1, 2, 3, or 4, or Native American Studies 5. You must satisfy the entry-level writing requirement prior to taking a lower division English composition class. So again, please, if you haven't satisfied your entry-level writing requirement, focus on that first, and then you can take your lower division comp course. The upper division comp course is pretty straightforward. There's only 2 options really. Upper division English composition exam, which is a pretty difficult exam, so I only encourage you to take that if you're very confident in your writing, or completion of one of the following courses: UWP 102E, F, 104A, E, or T. There's a little asterisk next to 102E. I just to share with you, your major, we're working to make UWP 102E have various, to have chemical engineering and biochemical engineering only sections, and make that the only option you can take between that and the exam. It's going to become a prereq requirement for a lot of your junior or senior level courses. So I encourage you just to kind of circle, highlight that one on your academic plan, as that most likely will become a major requirement in the next year or two. And 102F and 104 courses will be removed from acceptable lists. Again, I'll go over all this when this actually becomes a reality, but I wanted to give you a heads up. If you like to plan your schedule 4 years in advance, I encourage you to select 102E. So pass, no pass versus letter grading. The College of Engineering has a pretty strict pass, no pass policy. All coursework used to satisfy course requirements towards your degree, and any coursework offered by the College of Engineering must be taken with a letter grade, with the only exception being that the course is only offered as pass, no pass. Students may exercise pass, no pass grading for GE courses or unrestricted electives taken outside of the College of Engineering for up to 16 units. Short version, none of your major courses will be offered pass, no pass. If you have any questions about pass, no pass, please talk to either an engineering undergraduate office advisor or your major advisors, and we'll help you walk through the policy. So major requirements. So these are just the major requirements. This isn't counting any GEs. Chemical engineering, for lower division, you have 76 to 77 units. For upper division, 8 to 84 units with 8 units of electives, for a total of 56 to 61 units. For biochemical, there is 73 lower division units. Upper division, there's 89 to 93 units. And electives, there are actually 8 to 9 units, for a total of 62 to 63. Again, as part of the advising packet that I will release to you in the coming, at the end of this presentation, in that packet is a detailed degree worksheet, which looks something like this, which goes over all the different degree requirements that you have, including your writing requirements, your lower division requirements, when they're offered, the prereqs for those courses, all your upper division courses, and it goes into detail of your elective. So again, we provide a lot of resources, and worksheets for you to follow along so you don't have to figure it all out on your own. That's what your advisors are here for as well. So for your first quarter for both majors, they should look relatively the same. You'll be taking Math 21A if you've passed the placement exam. Chemistry 2A, again, if you pass the placement exam. You should work to complete your lower division English or your entry-level writing requirement. And you should be taking chemical engineering 80 again for both majors. There is some variations you can make to this plan. If you need to take a prereq course for math or chemistry, that you can take that. Some students sub out or have satisfied their writing requirements, so they take a GE course, or you're unable to take a course, English course this quarter, and you want to push it back to next quarter, that's fine. You can sub it out with the GE as well. So there is some variations. If, again, you'll be meeting with us during Aggie advising, where we'll go over your academic plan with you for the first year, so we can go over all the different variations that as they apply to you. Is there any questions about this first quarter registration? Someone asked, can we report our SAT scores to get out of the writing requirement, even if we didn't report an original application to UC Davis? I would have to double check. Shadea, do you have any input on that? If you didn't report them originally to UC Davis,
that's an admissions question.
Yeah, I would most likely refer you to admissions, which I can send you the email at the end of this presentation. And SAT would just get you out of the entry-level writing requirement. You would still have to take the lower division writing requirement. Any other questions? Okay. So someone asked, how do I check which English classes from a community college would satisfy? So that's something we can go over with you during your Aggie advising appointment, but a general tool for checking transfer courses from a community college is called assist.org. It's a pretty handy tool that allows you to, thank you, Cindy, allows you to compare community colleges to UC Davis's. Just be tricky. Sometimes it's a little hard to navigate depending on the school. So again, if you have any questions about it, the engineering undergrad office or your major advisors would be more than happy to walk you through it. Please feel free to put any more other questions in the chat, and Shadea or Cindy will take a look at them. So moving on to advising holds. So all students in the College of Engineering have mandatory academic advising holds that are placed on their registration once a year based on their class level. Failure to release your holds will prevent you from signing up for classes for the following quarter. So for you first years, the hold will go on for your fall quarter, and it will go into effect in early December, which that means if you don't meet with myself, Maria, or our new hire undergrad program coordinator before December, you may not be able to sign up for some classes for your winter quarter. As you go on throughout the next 4 years, it's kind of going to shift. So sophomores and seniors need to meet with an advisor during their fall winter quarters, with their advising hold going into effect in March. And then your third year, it doesn't go into effect until spring quarter, with it taking effect from May. And holds always take effect halfway through registration. So you will be able to sign up for your Pass 1 registration, which if you watch the Aggie Advising 101, you'll understand that you have 2 different pass windows. So the hold only affects Pass 2, and any changes, adds, or drops you want to make once the quarter actually starts. It's very important you clear your advising holds as soon as you can, so I encourage you to make an appointment early to take care of them. Any questions about advising holds? Great. So what we expect from you To attend your annual advising appointment and have a 3-quarter academic plan prepared in advance. You don't have to worry about that during your first year. During your first year advising, Maria and I will help you develop an academic plan and show you how to edit it. But any point after that, you will be expected to have an appointment plan updated at least. And again, we'll show you how to go through all that stuff. Come prepared with questions or materials for discussion. Really ask us anything. Maria and I both went through college relatively recently, but feel free to ask us any questions. Our doors are usually always open. You can always email us as well. We're here to help you through the process. I encourage you to establish goals. It's good to always have a point to work towards. Be open to feedback and alternative solutions. There's never usually one solution, one easy solution for every problem. So be open for alternatives. We also will provide feedback on what we feel is working and what isn't working, especially your faculty. So please be ready for feedback. It will always be constructive and positive and respectful, but please be open for it. Understand and be knowledgeable about your degree requirements and university policy and procedures. UC Davis does a really good job of being transparent with their policies. Everything is usually posted online. So if you do ever have a question, it should be relatively easy to search for it online. Our advising philosophy in our department is we'll help you do 49% of the work, but you need to put in that extra 1% on your end. So I encourage you to do some self-searching when you have a question. And then if you run into any roadblocks or you'd like to double check, please feel free to reach out to us. And again, it's okay to ask for help, seriously. We'll have drop-in hours, be them in person or virtual in the fall. That is to be determined, or there'll be a hybrid combination of both. But please feel free to ask us at any time if you have any questions. We're pretty accessible via email as well. So please do feel free to reach out. So what can you expect from us? Like I said, accessibility, we all have almost daily drop-in hours. We'll have daily appointments. Again, we're pretty quick on our emails, so you can feel free to reach out to us. We'll listen to your questions and concerns. We'll provide honest feedback. We'll help you explore problems and seek solutions, clarify your academic goals, develop a plan for achieving your academic success, help you understand your degree requirements, make appropriate referrals if it's something we can't handle in-house, and maintain confidentiality and pursuant to FERPA, which just means we'll respect your information interests and won't release your information to anyone, including your parents, unless we have your approval. So some academic FAQs. How many units do I need to take each quarter? Just the bare minimum is 12 units for financial aid and 12 units for maintaining minimum progress, which means staying in good standing, making forward progress towards your degree. If I do poorly, can I repeat a class? Yes, 16 units of repeat and repair, which means if you get a grade D+ or lower, then you can repeat that class and the higher grade will replace the lower grade in calculations. The lower grade will remain on your transcripts, but it won't be calculated into your GPA. If I can't get into a required course, reach out to us as soon as possible. You should never have any issues getting into any chemical engineering course. We manage our seats pretty well, and you will always be able to get into our classes. Can't always say the same for your preferred math, chemistry, or physics classes, but that is something you can reach out to us and we can help you develop some solutions and alternatives. I'd encourage you to be flexible during your first year. It's not always going to get your preferred schedule, but there should always be at least enough seats in your core classes to get what you need. So resources, if you can't find one, you didn't look hard enough. There are tons of stuff. So we have department advisors. Professors have office hours and professors have office hours, and they can help you find research opportunities, career and graduate school advice and guidance, and a whole other source of information. Campus resources include financial aid, student disability center, student health and counseling services, academic advising, assistance and tutoring, Office of Student Support and Judicial Affairs, AB 540, LGBTQIA Resource Center, Internship and Career Center, Undergrad Research Center, and a whole bunch more. We have so many different offices here to help you out, so I encourage you to take a look at them, attend any resource fairs that you find. Also, like I said, fellow students, it's very difficult to get through this major alone. I encourage you for peer advising, tutoring, group work, to reach out to your fellow students, your upperclassmen, your lowerclassmen, once you become a sophomore. It's a very close-knit major, so I encourage you to reach out. So some department resources that are specific to our department. We have 2 tutoring programs. So we have our Chevron tutoring program, which offers tutoring for all freshman, sophomore, and junior courses as listed there. Once you complete a course, you may be invited to join our tutoring program, which is a paid position. So if you do really well in a class and you make a good impression on the faculty, we may extend a tutoring position to you. We also have our Programming Geek Squad. This is non-course specific, but programming specific tutoring for programs such as MATLAB, Python, Aspen Plus, and SuperPro, which are all used in your upper division courses. So if you ever need assistance with the Geek Squad or with any programming, the Geek Squad can help you out. We do have a unique honors program. This is separate from the university honors program. It's a funded upper division honors program. So it's 2 years, your junior and senior year. You will receive up to $2,000 for research. It's by invitation only at the start of your junior year. Requirements include your 2-year research project, presentation at the undergrad research conference in the spring of your senior year, and submission of an honors thesis. If you want to find out more about that information, there is a link on our website under student resources, so I encourage you to reach out to them. We also have computer recommendations. You don't need an extremely strong computer to complete our major. Any baseline MacBook, Chromebook would suffice, but if you want very specific recommendations, we have that there as well. So to be successful in engineering, go to class, step 1. Develop study skills early, which we can help you develop. Utilize resources, work in groups, find a balance, and know when to ask for help. Office hours are an underutilized resource for both advisors and faculty, so I encourage you to reach out to them at least once a month if you have any questions, just to check in, and more frequently if you do have questions about curriculum. So kind of this triangle for finding a balance is studying, sleep, and social. You'll always, getting 8 hours of sleep is key before a test. Cramming usually never works, but you'll retain more if you actually sleep and let your brain kind of reset. I encourage you to socialize. As a key part of the college is to socialize. It's a great resource to relax as well, kind of let your brain rest. And then when you need your brain to work, study. So get involved is also a great resource. Do something you enjoy. We have so many different programs and clubs here. Study abroad, take a class for fun, the experimental college, the craft center, a PE class, freshman seminars, which are all returning in the fall. Campus recreation again is coming back in the fall, outdoor adventures, ARC, IM sports, and join a club. Most of our students are part of our core clubs and usually one other club as well. And conduct research. We do offer undergrad research with our faculty starting as early as your sophomore year. So I encourage you to reach out if you're interested in research. So once you succeed, this is kind of the end goal, this group photo. We take a group photo every year and we post it in our building. And one day, hopefully you'll get to see your own picture on our wall. So that'll be a great day. But that's kind of the end of our show. What I'm going to do next real quick before our Q&A is this show you where you can access any of the resources I kind of talked about today. This link was sent to you in the advising email I I recently resent, but it's a good resource for everything. It's where you can schedule an advising appointment with Shadea or myself. Links for Aggie 101 if you have not yet completed it. A little explanation about 2 majors. Again, how to schedule your advising appointments. But now under the prepare for your appointment, you can learn more about your major. But now here's an advising packet, including your first quarter recommendations, your degree requirements, your general education, and a 4-year sample plan. So this is the first quarter, kind of goes into detail about your very first quarter and some additional resources. The degree requirement, like I said, which outlines all your major related courses, when they're offered, the prereqs, and gives you an explanation of your degree requirements. Your GE worksheet, if you want to fill that in as you complete GEs. And our sample 4-year schedule for both biochemical and chemical engineering, where you can see the math, the chemistry, your chemical engineering requirements. This is kind of the standard 4-year courses. This is going to be kind of key for your planning purposes, as because we are a relatively small major, the chemical engineering courses are only offered once a year. So it's very important that you plan and meet with us. When you're required to do so, we can help you plan out for the next year to make sure you don't fall behind, because it may be kind of costly to fall behind as you have to wait for an entire year for the courses to come back around. But I don't want that to be alarming. We will happily help you out with everything. But I'll send that out in an email again. We'll also be posting the recording of this presentation on that website as well. But is there any questions, comments, concerns? As you may be typing your questions, please do sign up for an appointment if you haven't done so already. They are filling up fast. And you are expected to have that completed before the end of July when your registration starts. All of you do have an academic plan in your OASIS, as I explained in the email, for your first quarter, as I reviewed all your admissions and developed a plan for you, and we'll go over that during your Aggie advising. I also will be checking your fall schedules once you register for your classes, kind of as a safety net. So don't feel like you're alone when you're signing up for classes. We'll be there to help you as well with the registration assistance, and that information will be coming out shortly. We also will be, like I said, checking your schedule to make sure everything's all good. But it doesn't appear to be any questions. But that's the end of the presentation. I'll stay on here for a little bit longer to answer any questions people may have. But welcome to UC Davis. We look forward to seeing you in the Aggie advising appointments coming up. And have a wonderful rest of your day.